Hello Year 1 and welcome to Thursday's art lesson. Now I hope you enjoyed your lesson yesterday with Miss Best because you went hunting for lots and lots of different colours and you started to sort them all out into ways that we could order colours. So you might have done your favourite, your least favourite colour, you might have sorted all the red objects out into one pile and all the green into another, and you thought really carefully about colours and how we could sort and use them. Now today we are going to have another art lesson and we're going to be looking at a slightly different skill ready for you to use in your final piece tomorrow. So if I share my screen with you now, I can explain exactly what we are up to in our art lesson. You can make sure that you've got everything you need and then we'll get started. So today we are brilliant artists and we are going to see how do brilliant artists create patterns. So we're going to have a bit of a recap of sculpture and our artist Andy Goldsworthy this week, and then we're going to explore patterns. A bit like the jumper that I'm wearing, it's got a pattern on it. Then we're going to have a go to see if we can create different patterns, and then we'll see if we can recall the patterns that we've learnt and all the shapes that we've spotted. So before we get started, let's make sure that you've got the bits and pieces that you need for your art lesson. So you're going to need a pencil, something to write with today, and a piece of paper or a page in your notebook or your exercise book. And you need your imaginations for me today, Year 1. So you need to be thinking about pattern, and we're going to see how creative and imaginative we can be. So let's get started, because we know that Andy Goldsworthy is a sculptor and he has created many, many different pieces of artwork and he has used pattern. But what is pattern? A pattern is a repeated decorative design. So decorative means like a decoration. So it's a repeated design, it's a repeated decoration. A bit like my top that I'm wearing today, it's stripy and it repeats itself all the way down my jumper. Now let's have a look at some of these patterns that we've got on our screen. We have got some patterns which go black and white, and they're squares all along this person's shoe. Can you see the patterns here? They're almost like dots over the lampshades. We've got stripes for this lady's scarf. And have a look at all these diamond shapes that make the pattern design on the floor. And the same with this lady's dress. So we're going to have a look at pattern and we're going to see that it's all around us, and we're going to explore that in just a moment. So here is a picture of a sculpture that Andy Goldsworthy did, and he created a swirl. Can you see that his stones go round and round and round? And they start off really small, tiny, tiny stones, and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So he created a swirl as a pattern. So what I want you to do now is I want you to pause the video because we are going to go on a pattern hunt. So wherever you are going to see if you can find some patterns around your home and see what you can spot. So you might want to have a look at windows, a bit like the ones behind me. We've got squares making a pattern all across my windows. You might want to have a look at photo frames, lampshades, have a look at clothes, toys, packets, and have a little look to see what patterns you can spot. Remember, a pattern is something that is repeated over and over again. So it's a design, something that's full of decoration, decorative, and it is repeated. So are you ready to go on your hunt? I want you to go and explore and find as many things with a pattern on it. Off you go. Okay, well done everybody. I wonder what sort of patterns you found. So I've been exploring around my house, and as I said to start with, I can see some patterns on the window behind me where I've got squares going in a nice straight line. I also found some patterns on my top because I'm wearing a stripy top today, and the lines are going all the way down from the top to the bottom of my jumper. I even had found my pillow, and my pillow goes in zigzags. And thinking about the colour, like yesterday's lesson, it makes a pattern with the colour too. White, yellow, white, yellow, white, yellow. And it's a bit of a zigzaggy pattern. So I wonder what you found. I'm going to share my screen again because I took some photos of different objects around my house as well. So let's see if we can spot some different patterns. So I've got my lights here. And if you have a look super carefully, you can see that I've got lots of dots and they're making a swirling pattern. So they're all in small circles and the dots are the things that are making the pattern, and it's repeated on every spike of my star. Okay, let's have a look at this. I found a basket, and inside the basket, it makes a swirling pattern, which means the pattern goes round and round and round. But can you also spot that there's tiny little zigzags? A grey zigzag, then a white zigzag. I spotted my scarf, having lots of different colours, but the pattern are stripes that go along my scarf. And then I found in my wardrobe some spotty clothes. So I found a top that's got lots of spots on, and they go in a pattern all the way across my top, some tiny black dots. So your challenge for today as brilliant artists is to make a pattern poster. So I have shown lots of different patterns that I've explored around the house, and I have made little pictures for you. So you could have a go at making a pattern poster with circles, and think about the size as well, year one. Are you going to do huge circles or are they going to be tiny circles? We've got lines, and think about the direction of your lines. Could they go up and down or side to side? You could have a go at doing zigzags as your pattern, a bit like the pillow that I showed you earlier. You could do crosses, dots. And look how I've displayed the dots. They're going in a swirly, zigzaggy pattern. Or you could even have a go at making some swirls. I've got some medium-sized ones, some tiny ones, and then some bigger ones. So if I come back onto your screen, I will show you an example of a poster that I've made. So with a piece of paper or a page in your book, I have started with the word at the top, pattern. So that's kind of my title for today's poster. And I have filled my poster with lots of different patterns using all the different shapes that I've seen. And you can use whatever you can write with, year one. So you can see that I've used pencil, I've used my whiteboard pen, and I've even got some felt tips at home as well. So I've used felt tips. And I've thought about the pattern, the size, and the direction. So if we have a look down here at my lines, I've used lines as my pattern, but I've done some going down that are short, some going across that are long, and some that go across even longer. If you look really carefully here, I've gone for lines that are a little bit close together, lines that are far apart from each other, and then lines that are really tiny and really close together. And then I've had a go at doing some lines that go down and along, down and along, down and along. And I've changed the size of them as well. I've got some swirls down the bottom, some zigzags at the top, and I've even had a go at using dots in different shapes and patterns as well. So your challenge today is to make your very own pattern poster. And remember, the teachers would love to see all your creations. So if you can take a photo of it and send it in to us as well, we would love to see all the different patterns that you have made using your imagination. So enjoy your challenge today, and we'll see you tomorrow where we are going to create our final piece. So you're going to have a go at making your very own sculpture, just like Andy Goldsworthy. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow for your final art lesson. Bye-bye, everyone.